This is Drone, K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The Denver Radio Club Learning Net starts in 5 minutes.
W0TX repeater. JK, Daron, seems to be a fire there in the living room.
A good one. A good one. This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net starts in 1 minute. All stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
All right, thanks everyone for joining here on YouTube. No camera here this evening, but good evening and welcome. Hopefully everyone is staying warm, doing welcome, and we will get the net started here. Hello and welcome back to the Denver Radio Club Learning Net, a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics in general. And thankfully we have plenty of combined experience and expertise. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie, K1DBC. My name is Daron. I am Net Control. We meet every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday of the month, at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on 145.490 and 448.625. Both have a negative offset, meaning on 2 meter, you transmit on 144.890, or on 70 centimeter, you transmit on 443.625. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? You can contact us via email at drclearningnet@gmail.com or Elmer at W0TX.org. We also post info on groups.io/G/ham learning net. You can also look us up on YouTube. If you search on YouTube for our club's call sign, Whiskey 0 Tango X-Ray W0TX, you can find a live stream of the this evening's net, all of our other nets, meetings, things like that. So you can check it on there if you'd like. If anybody would like to participate this evening in any of the net control duties, if you have access to the repeater and you have a tech class or above license, if you'd like to help with check-in, script reading, moderating conversation, anything, I'm more than happy to help you with that at all. So if you'd like to help with this evening's net, please call now. This is K1DBC Net Control. We will begin by inviting Elmers only to check in, with or without traffic. All Elmers, please check in now.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA 0 JK Brett and Arvada, and we've got traffic.
Net Control would like to welcome and acknowledge the following Elmers. AA0JK Fred with traffic. Thank you so much for checking in. All other check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the operator's call sign. That would be the first letter after the number in the call sign. If you can, please try to use IT phonetics as you check in and indicate if you have traffic or questions as you do. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey 0, Bravo Kilo Sierra, Barb Inn, we reach. Kilo 0, Lima Papa Romeo, Lanier and Inglewood.
November 0 Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim in South Jeffco.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV Tom Arvada, no traffic.
Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India K0 LEI Larry Lakewood, no traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Hold it there for just a moment. Net Control, I'd like to welcome knowledge of the following check-ins. W0BKS Barb, K0LPR Linear, N0EYZ Jim, K6HJV Tom. Sounded like there was a double in there, but then we also had K0LAI Larry. Thank you all so much for checking in. If you tried to check in and I didn't call your call sign, please call back.
November 1 Golf Uniform Mike, Peter in Littleton.
WD0CIV, WD0CIV, Charles in Denver, and no traffic.
Kilo Delta Zero Whiskey Papa Quebec, Tom in Aurora, no traffic.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. That time we had N1GUM Peter, WD0CIV Charles, and KD0WPQ Tom. Thank you all for checking in. We'll go ahead and open up the whole alphabet. If you've just tuned in, my name is Daron, K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. General place, great place to learn actually about ham radio STEM topics. We have a lot of people here to contribute. So if you'd like to check in for the count or if you have any traffic or questions, we'll take all call suffixes A through Z. Please check in with your call sign. If you can, try to use ITU phonetics as you check in and indicate if you have any traffic or questions. Please call now.
Kilo Zero, Yankee Echo Sierra Kid in Broomfield, and no traffic.
Kilo Alpha Zero Victor Bravo Alpha Curtis in Lakewood. I have some equipment to give away. November 0 Tango Romeo Papa Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
All right, this is Net Control, K1DBC. We're going to hold up there for just a moment. I'd like to welcome knowledge to the following check-ins. K0YES Ken, KA0VBA Curtis with some equipment to give out. We'll follow up on that here in just a bit. And then we had N0TRP. Jim, thank you all for checking in. Once more, we'll take all call suffixes A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please call now. All right, one more time. Probably just coming into the holiday season, a little bit quieter. Definitely, that's all right. Never a problem to lurk, quote unquote. You don't ever have to check in. You're more than welcome to always listen in the background if you want, or watch what we're showing on the YouTube. Never have to check in. With that, though, we'll take check-ins periodically throughout the net here. Let me drop here for just a moment. Make sure I'm not doubling somebody. With that, though, if there's ever just a, I don't like using the word break in the conversation. I need to find a different term for that. But if there's ever a lull in the conversation, you're more than welcome to check in or bring up any topics or questions. So with that, though, I'll throw it out to Fred with traffic. A0JK, the net is yours. Go ahead.
A0JK, good evening, everyone, and thanks to all for checking in here this evening. Always good to hear y'all. But earlier, prior to the net, I was going through the ARR website and just happened to spot something that caught my attention, and that's an upcoming event in February. Never too early to get started on some of these events, especially when, you haven't heard much in the way of activity in regard to this in the amateur radio arena. But what it is Think Day on the Air. Think Day on the Air, TDOTA. Now, we've got the Girl Scouts and their guides all out there wanting to generate some enthusiasm for the amateur radio hobby. Now, boy, I tell you, upcoming, let's see, Think Day on the Air is coming up here towards the end of February, around the 26th, as I understand it, and it's to promote and encourage some enthusiasm and participation in the hobby, and getting the Girl Scouts involved in ham radio and amateur radio community. Lacking that is missing a great opportunity for amateur radio. So I hope we will have some great participation in getting some scouts involved and generating some excitement and exhilaration and personal satisfaction on the parts of the gals. Now, we always hear of the Jamboree on the Air, which comes, we just passed in October, and we always hear about the Boy Scouts, but would like to hear a little bit more from the gals. So for the YLs out there, do consider giving an amateur radio-related presentation to the Girl Scouts and encouraging them to participate in the activities that the amateur radio community has to offer. And also, it looks like the ARRL has a special patch for the Girl Scouts. And it's the radio and wireless technology patch that they can add to their collection. And this is so that they can go home with an accomplishment patch to show their accomplishments in the art of radio communications. And let's see, what else do I have here? And some notes, few non-hams understand what amateur radio has to offer. So we want to open the window here for all the younger folks there as to what our hobby has to offer. let's see, it said here, Think Day on the Air is what you might call a self-defined special event. And I definitely hope we hear some participation. This is all kind of designed to point the troops to available materials offered in support of the Girl Scouts, encouraging them in the conversation that binds the event to something that the Scouts can reasonably and successfully participate in and accomplish. The guide here, Girl Scouts Guide to get thinking about ham radio, is on the ARRL.org website if you want to look into some more finer details. The advancement program for the Scouts participating in Scout activities is symbolized by ranks or steps. The Boy Scouts have got 7 ranks, and that they go up through as they participate in the Scout activities. And it definitely generates an environment of adventure for all the Scouts. Not to mention that these groups and activities create forever friendships that starts within the scouting groups and also the amateur radio hobby, building and encouraging confidence and leaderships in our young people. And also the recognition in the awards are a big plus. I know the Girl Scouts, they have their ranks. They're the Daisies, Brownies, Juniors, Cadets, and on up. And wished we heard a little bit more about them and local activities. Speaking of participation, during an event that I helped in, we had a little young Daisy participate in the Scout event. You know, a bunch of boys, and all of a sudden here comes a little Daisy. And she just melted my heart, to say the least. She took the microphone, and like a pro, she got on there and talked and said, "Hello, I'm a Daisy. I'm such and such years old, and enjoying ham radio." And if you don't think that will bring a tear to your eye, so don't hesitate to get out there and participate in some of these events and give these folks an opportunity here to experience our hobby. That particular event was put on by a Scout leader and his wife at their home. They invited me over to set up my radio and give the Scouts all an opportunity to experience ham radio and get their merit badges. Also available at the time, and probably still is, the Scouts have a booklet that addresses amateur radio. And if you're interested, I highly recommend this very inexpensive little booklet that you can hand out to all the Scouts to kind of give an overview of what amateur radio is all about. And all the Scout leaders and amateur radio YLs out there, those with daughters, if not already involved, think of the opportunity that is here for them to introduce them into the world of amateur radio and the sciences that we learn in the hobby. we've got a Scout Net coming up on the Ham Radio Net on the 19th at 8 p.m. And that's going to be on 449.625 megahertz, repeater with a minus offset, and 141.3 hertz with a tone required. So you might want to give these folks an opportunity to have someone to talk to. If you hear them on there, give them a shout. And also check out the Girl Scouts of Colorado.org website. If any of you have any further questions or comments, you can contact me at Elmer at W0TX.org. That's Elmer at W0TX.org. Back to you, Daron, AA0JK.
All right, AA0JK Fred, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, a lot of great information there, absolutely, about some upcoming events. This event you spoken about, the Thinking Day on the Air. Yeah, great event in cooperation with the Girl Scouts of America or things like that. So, yeah, just like the Jamboree on the Air, this is another event like that. So, more day. We'll see, hopefully, where all of these kind of combine into one, really. The Boy Scouts of America are allowing girls into it, so hopefully it'll be kind of all just youth on the air, really, from these combined kind of youth groups, things like that. So, it'd be great to have, more participation from the BSA, the Boy Scouts of America. As you mentioned, there's a Scouts Net coming up. The Girl Scouts, the 4-H Club. There's a lot of crossover between radio and agriculture, and a lot of the work that they do with all these groups and stuff like that. So, a lot of opportunity here, and really, really cool. Thank you so much for bringing all that up here.
W0TX.
The river is well over, very wet and very windy.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out there. Anybody have any other comments, questions in regards to what Fred had brought up so far about getting youth on the air, or Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, any of these youth groups, anything like that, or any comments or questions? Go ahead. All right, sounds good. This is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah, some of these organizations, they kind of try to help, instill some leadership skills and outward bound skills and some good skills to pass on to our youth, our future leaders, to help guide us as we move through the next many decades. So. With that, I will throw it out to KA0VBA Curtis with traffic. The net is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you, Daron. This is KA0VBA. I've got a bunch of stuff, and I can't move it, and I'm moving, so I'll be giving it away, some of it. Some of it I'll be selling if you want to pay for it, but I've got a couple of Astron 50-amp power supplies. I think they're in working order, or they may need to be adjusted because they were not used for ham radio. I've got some antennas and some other things. So if you'll give me your telephone number, I'll call you when I'm headed over there. KA0VBA.
All right, KA0VBA Curtis, thank you so much for bringing that up. Yeah, as mentioned on the last net, his phone number, you can contact him if you want, 303-424-7585. 7373. You can look up his information on QRZ, KA0 VBA. Yeah, a couple of 50 amp Astron power supplies. Moving and needing some help getting rid of it, and would like to see it go to a good place. So yeah, if you'd like to contact him, please feel free to do so, and yeah, you might be able to get some equipment out of it. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I didn't see anybody else indicated that they had traffic. If I did, if you did mention it and I missed it, I apologize. But I'll throw it out to the group. Does anybody have any other comments, questions? And I'll take official check-ins here in the moment, actually. But any other comments or questions or other check-ins at the moment? Go ahead. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Hope everyone is doing well. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. It's a great place to learn about ham radio and STEM topics. My name is Daron. My call sign is K1DBC, Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. You can contact us, drclearningnet@gmail.com. We stream on YouTube. If you search on YouTube for our club's call sign, W0TX, you can find us on there. You're always welcome to check in on there. With that, though, if anybody is on the air and you'd like to check in, please try to do so with your call sign in ITU Phonetics, and let us know your name if you have any traffic or questions as you do. So if you're on the air and you'd like to check in, we're taking all call suffixes. Please call now.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Papa India, Ron in Lakewood. A little traffic and a question.
All right, that time we had KF0 FPI Ron with a traffic and a question. I'll call in here in just a minute. Thank you so much for checking in. All right, once more, if you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, we're taking all call suffixes. Please call with your call sign, your name, and let us know if you have traffic or questions. Please call now. So let's relax for just a minute here. All right, with that, we'll throw it over to KF0 FPI Ron with traffic or questions. Go ahead.
Thanks, Drone. This week, Monday, I got my first QSO, and I got my tech's license in May, and I found out that I'm kind of mic shy. But my first QSO was off the repeater on the ISS, the space station, and I hit a station in Albuquerque. And I was in shock and awe as I did it on a 27-inch mobile antenna. Well, I've been slewing satellites the last week, and they use grid numbers. I tried phoning a friend in the club, and he could not help me with the grid numbers, or he didn't get back to me. He was busy or something. And I learned the grid system now. And my question was, do you have to do that if you do it in a normal CQ? going simplex on any of the other bands in the radio.
Comment?
All right, KF0FPI Ron. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, a lot of us, we are definitely interested in the technology, and sometimes the conversation is a little bit on the back burner there. So I definitely can understand that. But yeah, congratulations on an ISS QSO. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, the Maidenhead grid square is how locator system is how we use for QSOs, things like that. I don't do too many formal QSOs, so I don't know how often that is needed. But as we've talked about through some of the contests, definitely there's some different things needed with a QSO. But I'll throw it out to Fred though. A0JK, follow up on that. Go ahead.
A0JK, okay, very good, Ron. And yes, now, during just casual QSOs, your grid is not required. You're going to find that mostly during contests and people trying to chase counties, whatnot. But it is not a requirement during just casual conversations. Special events, if they request it, and it's nice to be able to send them that Delta Mike 79 information. But I know just north of here the grid number changes there, so it's dependent upon which side of the line you're on. But I digress. But only if requested, requested. So congratulations, welcome to the hobby, and get right out there and collect those QSLs. AA0JK, back to net control.
All right, AA0JK Fred, thank you so much for the follow-up. Yeah, excuse me, just looking at one of the upcoming contests here, VHF, UHF, FT8 contests, where part of the exchange is the grid square requirement. Yeah, and yeah, so it doesn't look like it's necessarily required for everyday QSO exchanges. So FPI, Ron, or anyone else on follow up on that, go ahead.
Yes, Fred, thank you for that information. No, I've been listening to the satellites for like a week, and it sounded like everybody had a double call sign. And I had no clue about the grids. Well, I got digging, and I found the grid thing, and I read a suggestion that I had printed off from Amstat, that if you want to do this, do it during the week, in the middle of the day, when the pace is a little bit slower, and I snagged the fish, I guess. So, back to net.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I was trying to find a little bit more information here. Yeah, I haven't really done too many satellite contacts, so I wouldn't know that. But I know that there is some relationship between satellite operations and grid squares for sure. I know, funnily enough, there was a contest called Walmart Parking Lots on the Air, and apparently a lot of the Walmarts are on like grid square lines or something like that. There's a interesting relationship between all of this here. So yeah, I'm sure there's probably a good amount of importance with that. Yeah, and for sure if you're probably, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'll have to look more into satellite exchanges for QSOs. Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. So yeah, all the more interest to take into this. So yeah, FPI Ron, or again anyone else on that, go ahead. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I guess to read the real quick blurb that the ARL has on grid squares is their shorthand means of describing your general location anywhere on the Earth in a manner that is easy to communicate over the air. An instrument of the Maidenhead locator system named after the town outside of London where was first conceived by a meeting of European VHF managers in 1980. Oh, not that long ago. Grid square measures 1 degree latitude by 2 degrees longitude and measures approximately 70 by 100 miles in the continental U.S. A grid square is indicated by 2 letters, in brackets the field, and 2 numbers, the square, as in FN, Foxtrot November 31, the grid square within which W1AW, ARL's Maxim Memorial Station resides. Each subsquare is designated by the addition of 2 letters after the grid square, as, for example, FN44 India Golf. The more precise locators are used as part of the exchange in the 10 gigahertz contest. They measure 2.5 minutes latitude by 5 minutes longitude, roughly corresponding to 3 by 4 miles in the continental United States. Much higher resolution there. So yeah, U.S. grid square. I'm looking at a grid square map that I have here, and it's it's definitely important. You see these come up definitely when you do an FT8 a lot. You'll see these automatically come up when you're doing some of the digital modes, things like that. So pretty important. Really, really cool stuff there. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I don't see anybody else indicated they had any traffic or questions at the moment, but any other traffic questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for this evening's net so far, please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I bet I can bring up a couple things here, but I'll throw it back out to the net. Does anybody have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for this evening's net? Please call now. Another upcoming event, hopefully the ARL will take advantage of the good timing here. Again, in February is the ARL National Convention in 2022, February 10th through the 13th in Orlando, Hamcation. So it is going to be an upcoming Hamfest, if you will, in Florida. So kind of your average, looks like it's going to have a bunch of training tracks and a bunch of information, presenters, and Contest University, Emergency Communications, Technology Academy. Let's see here. Plenty of information. So arl.org /ARL-Expo for more info on that. Another upcoming event, virtual this one though, one we've spoken about quite a bit in the past, is the QSO Today Virtual Ham Expo. More info on them, QSO Today, hamexpo.com. March 12th and 13th, we'll probably bring up quite a bit about it. Right here. It's the calling for speakers and presentations, so if you would like to give a presentation, seems like it's fairly easy to try to do and get into, and we've had a lot of past couple of presentations we've had, or a few presentations the W0TX has had, are speakers from this talk as well. So look forward to that coming up as well. This is K1DBC Net Control. I don't have too much more for this evening's net. It's a little bit quiet here during the holiday season, but I can try to bring up a couple of stories, ham radio related, and what have it, but I'll throw it out to the net once more at the moment. Any other comments, questions, check-ins at the moment, please call now. This is K1DBC Net Control. Looking at a blog here, definitely always love to read. The hackaday.com blog. Article titled is the game up for Bofang in Europe? Written by Jenny List on December 5th. So this goes into, as we've kind of spoken about and we've kind of discussed, with some of the FCC requirements for spurious emissions and for not only spurious emissions but also not able to forcing radios to stick within the bands that they're able to operate in. So amateur radio can't bleed in over to FRS or GMRS, so things like that. So in Germany, the story reads here, for radio enthusiasts worldwide, inexpensive Chinese handheld radios produced by the likes of Bofang and other brands have been a welcome addition to their arsenal. They make an ideal first transceiver for a new licensee, and a handy portable for any radio amateur, and an inexpensive basis for UHF or VHF experimentation. Unfortunately, with a low cost comes something of a reputation for not having the cleanest spectral output, and it seems that this has caught the attention of regulators in Germany and Poland. In Germany, this has resulted in the announcement of a sales prohibition, which seems likely to be repeated across the rest of the EU. It goes on to say, it seems what has happened is that the quality of the Bofang radios on sale doesn't match that claimed in their conformity documents, which should honestly come as a surprise to nobody. It is interesting that the paperwork mentions that the Bofang UV5R specifically, as it seems likely to us that an inevitable game of a whack-a-mole will ensure that with the same radios appearing under every more brand names and part numbers. The basic UV5R already appears under a number of variants. For example, the one where there is being written near identical but slightly more powerful F8 come to no surprise to anybody. So if you live in Europe, should you panic and buy a Bofang while you still can? Probably not, unless you really need one. Something tells them that they will remain readily available for the usual overseas sources for years to come. Again, meanwhile, this isn't the first time a regulator has raised questions about this type of radio. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. So what does that mean for us? I mean, again, as mentioned in that last sentence there, these are fairly readily available products, and for a long time. I mean, this is a European effort, or German, Polish effort, but even within the United States, FCC has spoken about exactly the same problems, but it's not developed into a large enough of an issue. It hasn't overlapped into public safety or to any other bands that it's a huge issue. But we just need to be careful and make sure that we're transmitting on the bands that we're allowed to, and hopefully over time, some of these overseas manufacturers will be able to tighten their manufacturing processes up and allow for better spectral output and less spurious emissions. This is K1DBC Net Control. I'll throw it out to the net. Any other comments, questions, check-ins so far for the net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, don't have too much. More really for this evening's net. Things are finally starting to ramp down a little bit for the holiday season in my workplace, so maybe I'll try to catch up with some of the backlog of stuff I have to do with the net here. But plenty of things to read online. Lots of cool stories to read. Lots of electronics. Lots of things going on. So let me see if I can bring out anything else. But I'll throw it back out to the net at the moment. Any other comments, questions, check-ins? Anything else you'd like to bring up for this evening's net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Another great blog to read, rtl-sdr.com. Pretty geeky, nerdy stuff, but recent article here, released December 9th. Must be some UTC time. SDR Angel features overview. ADSB, APT, DVBS, DAB, plenty of acronyms, plenty of stuff here. It's a general-purpose software-defined radio program that's compatible with most SDRs. I don't know if this is something you can run on Windows. I'll have to look at the program here. It might be like a Linux thing, but gosh, the list of things here just is pretty long. So you can decode aircraft positions. You can decode weather, satellite images, marine signals, aircraft beacons, digital audio, European digital audio broadcasts. You can do some radio astronomy, hydrogen line measuring, other solar measurements. Plenty of stuff here. APRS, pagers. This is crazy. So really cool thing here. I'll see if I can bring up and get a little bit more information on this here. Hey, Bob.
NOAA 18 is no longer visible.
All right, sorry about that. This is K1DBC Net Control. I think this is a Windows program. Pretty cool feature set here. Yeah, pretty slick GUI, slick design. So shows a good waterfall output and kind of the decoded images or audio or different data and different things like that you'd be expecting from your measuring from your inputs. So pretty cool product here. SDR Angel for more information here.
And BBC Sound.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Just looking at a video here. I wanted to also take a check-in.
For 6 minutes.
Bob WA4 MBG checked in online. Appreciate that. Looking at a video here of this program in use here. Yeah, pretty cool looking here, and yeah, just got me to think about some of our European compatriots and some of the different signals, some of the different analog signals that are still bouncing around there in Europe, where we may have moved on potentially, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to see some of the old things here. So really cool. And nautical. I really love go to the water. I'll have to come visit you, Bob. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I don't have too much more this evening. I'll throw it out to the net. Any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else for this evening's net? Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. I really don't have too much more for this evening's net. Hopefully, maybe during Black Friday, you maybe picked up some equipment, maybe either new or used or whatnot, and maybe you can look online. Maybe some people are selling their equipment, and always I'll try to bring up the poster. I keep mentioning this, but look around to your local radio clubs. They have some for sale wanted sections, so go check that out for sure. Or W0TX, we have a classified section, so you can check that out. Trading post. So if you're wanting to sell or buy anything, there might be some things on there. With that, I'll throw it out to the net. We have another 10 minutes or so here, but any other further comments, questions, check-ins for this evening's net, please call now. All right. Yeah, really don't have too much more. Quick club business, more information on our club, W0TX.org. Upcoming club meeting December 15th. That's going to be next week. So, presentation is lithium batteries, presented by Marcel Stieber, AI6MS. Everything you need to know about lithium batteries. Necessity for almost all portable radio operations. The advent of modern battery chemistries, choices available are plentiful. Presentation will focus on 3 common types: lead acid, lithium, and lithium iron phosphate. Discuss the pros and cons of each chemistry, common uses and misuses, and everyday application tips for your latest amateur radio projects. Marcel is an electrical engineer from Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Enjoys supporting student clubs and fully remote licensing. It helps with local clubs, areas, repeaters, groups, and RF consultant and volunteer tower climber. So pretty cool presentation. W0TX.org for more info. 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Google Meet is where that occurs. And an hour prior to that, we have something very similar to this evening's net, just a general Q&A. It's called the Elmers session, but just general Q&A, show and tell. Again, also occurs on Google Meet. You don't have to be in part of the Denver Radio Club as a member or in Denver at all. Just come and hang out, and you also don't need to be a ham radio operator. So December 15th, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. for the Elmers session, then 7 p.m. for the presentation. Don't have much else. I don't know how many more times I can say that this evening, but what else here? Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully we'll have some nice cooler weather, and we'll see some snow here in the Denver metro area. We'll have a nice Christmas. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Let's see. Get out on the air. There's plenty of things to do. As I've brought up in the past, you can buy little Christmas trees or menorahs for little soldering projects. $5 or so. A few LEDs, things like that, and a few things. And it's just a cool way to get people into to electronics maybe during the holiday season. So Tindie, TINDIE.com for more information on that. Very similar to with Etsy, if you've ever heard of Etsy, but just a store where people can post their kits that they've made, and you can purchase them and put them together. So, fun project to do during the holiday season. Okay, with that, I think I'll probably take final calls. This will be the final call for any check-ins, comments, questions, anything else for this evening's net. Please call now. All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, as mentioned, we stream on YouTube. Feel free to check that out if you'd like. Not a requirement ever. If you search our call sign, W0TX, you should be able to find that. You're more than welcome to chat on there if you'd like, or check in, or whatever. I also show video of what we're speaking about and puts a little bit of context, more context to what we're speaking about. So I stream the Wednesday night nets, the Sunday night nets, the Elmer nets, the upcoming meetings, previous meetings, things like that. So if you ever miss something out, you can always check that out. Email us, drclearningnet@gmail.com. Keep your comments, questions, check-ins coming into that. Elmer at W0TX.org. We also are on groups.io/G/ham learning nets. And we're also on the air. Check out our repeater list and our different net listings. So don't ever hesitate to jump in on the air. We have a lot of activities going on. Check out our website, W0TX.org. All the nets we got going on and all the activities. So happy to hear you on the air and happy to have you with any of the activities we got going on. Okay. With that, we had a total of 15 check-ins. We'd like to thank everyone who participated, especially appreciate and thank our Elmers. Thanks to the Denver Radio Club for allowing us to use their repeater for the session. Again, next week, we're going to have our regular monthly meeting, December 15th, 16th, something like that, whatever that was there, 15th. I'm trying to bring it back up here, but failing to do so. Yeah, check that out. More info, W0TX.org for more information on that. What else here? All right, with that, all stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into normal mode.
PL on.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control. Again, keep your comments, questions, stories coming in to us. So we definitely appreciate here everyone being a part of the club and being part of our family. And happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll speak soon. So this is K1DBC 7.3. Everyone take care. I am clear.